Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Sisters of the Maccabees. Now, before we go any further, if you have any children watching, get them out the room. Get them out the room because this is going to be an adult conversation, okay? The brothers can stay because this does involve them as well, all right? But this is an adult conversation, so please get the babies out the room. Now, if you do have a young girl, 12 and up, she can stay, okay, because she really needs to see this, okay? So let's get into it. So, I have been hearing for a while men complaining about the woman's, downstairs area there and the smelly situation going on down there. There have been a lot of men that I've seen all over social media and that I've even talked to in person who have complained about women that they've met and, the fact that these women smell. And we're going to have a conversation today. We're going to have some serious conversation about that today because it needs to be talked about. There shouldn't be any instance where a man is having to complain about how smelly a woman's vagina is. That is very embarrassing, and we need to have a discussion about it, right? So I'm going to be talking about that in a few minutes, but I also want you guys to take a look at some of these videos that I have found around the internet. And let's take a look at what people are saying, especially the women, but what the men are also saying about this. Let's take a look.
Let me just point this out because y'all are getting it all wrong. So I keep hearing men complain, like, why does your coochie smell bad? Like, why do you stank down there? First of all, sir, the coochie has a natural odor. It has a self-cleansing mechanism wherein it produces different types of discharge throughout the day in order to protect it from catching infection. So if anything, y'all should be worried if you ever encounter a girl with a coochie that does not smell bad. Because that is abnormal. That is unhealthy.
My boyfriend says my kitty smells like cheese. If I don't fix it, I think he's going to leave. Me, girl, try out the magic kitty wash.
Okay, so the year is 2023 and there are still way too many women who still struggle with vaginal odor. So let's talk about a few tips that my gynecologist taught me when I was in high school on how to avoid vaginal odor. Let's get into it. Way too often do I hear people say that, oh, it's a vagina, it's gonna stink. Y'all, it does not have to stink. It does not have to smell bad. It's not supposed to stink. It's not supposed to smell bad. Let's talk about it.
Hear a man talk about how a woman have an odor down there. What he's smelling is other men. Women will tell other women to go do this and that, but you ain't got no answers for these females on what they're gonna do when they coochie smell like Brad and Tyler. You cannot just put your cooch in a sink and wash it with Irish Spring and tap water and think you good.
They already stinking. Oh my God.
I've had BV since 2014 and I didn't have BV between 2015 and 2020. I completely stopped having BV. And the only thing that saved me was drinking a lot of water. I drank a gallon of water a day for 6 days. And then like once a month, I'll drink a gallon of water a day for like 2 days in a row. Long story short, someone close to me, they did a 7-page paper on BV, bacterial vaginosis, and you basically have to flush it out. So I don't know. I hope this helps. Yeah.
There's a lot of brothers that be talking about the modern women, and a lot of them don't have good hygiene. Well, now even the lesbians are coming out talking about that. Let's review it.
Yeah, I don't even want to be gay no more. Like, I done been scarred so bad by stanky cats.
Okay, now this woman saying that she's about to go back to liking the men's because y'all cats are stinking so bad. This is coming from a certified lesbian here. But let's continue.
That it just ain't worth it. Like, you see them on the social media and you be like, damn, they fine. Then when they take the clothes off of you, you be like, damn, they stink.
That's what the brothers been saying. The brothers have been talking about this like for numerous of videos, and then these females go in the comment section talking about these men are lying. Y'all lying. You just mad because, oh, you couldn't get with her, and that's why you're lying online about her. But yet, you got a lesbiana right here saying the same thing.
Gosh, where this fine ass bitch that was on social media that I thought smelled good? You look like you smell good, but you don't smell good. Y'all out here catfishing.
Yeah, well, it look like the brothers ain't lying again. Look like the brothers has been telling the truth. All of you women that went into them comment sections and try to talk down these men when they have been talking about hygiene, it is a real issue. Only thing that I can tell you, just being your uncle, is go see a gynecologist, because that's not normal. Go see a gynecologist and figure out what is wrong, what's going on, because not everything is a soap and water issue. The brother's been telling y'all that for a long time. See your doctor, because soap and water not going to cure that issue that you got going on. It's not a soap and water issue a lot of times. It is a hygiene issue. It is an issue you got going on. Sometimes these little women let all these different guys up in them raw, and it's not meant for you to let a bunch of bacteria all up in you. It's not meant for that. The original way it was supposed to be is you find yourself a husband and get married and stick with your husband. That's what you need. That's what you're supposed to do. But y'all living the way y'all want to live in America. Y'all lay down with whoever you want to lay down with and wonder why you're smelling. You can't figure it out. But I don't know. Y'all tell me. I just say see your doctor. That's the only thing I'm going to say and cure your issue.
Okay, so I saw Nick Cannon's clip about him speaking about women's vaginal odors and how 80%, or how he believes that 80% of women have bad feminine hygiene. And this is not about him. This is just me generally speaking.
I believe there's about 80% of women that probably need assistance when it comes to female hygiene.
You got
and there's this magnificent 20% that have no smell.
I think
and
I'm part of the 2% because I definitely agree with 20. 20. It's
It's
normal for women like us men would know better than I would. A lot of women aren't aware of themselves.
And maybe present company excluded. We talk about this all the time. Do y'all know when y'all stinking up the room?
I've always found men's hyper-focus on women's vaginal odors to be quite audacious, even when it comes from a loving place. And the reason for this is because most of the time, if a woman has a bad odor, vaginal odor, it's typically because she's probably experiencing BV, bacterial vaginosis.
Bro, them girls with them overly big butts, they stink. I don't care about nothing. I know for a fact when you open that shit.
For my gym girlies, or not even gym girlies, just women in general, I just want to say this is a safe space. I'm saying it's a safe space, okay? So when you've done like a really, really good workout, you're all sweaty, you go home and you start to notice a little itch down there, and then you go to shower, take off your leggings, and you just, what's that smell?
So the question is it normal? Is it normal for a woman's vagina to smell, to have a foul smell to it, to the point where men are complaining about it? No, it is not normal. It isn't normal. I have talked to quite a few women who have told me that their mothers have never really taught them how to groom themselves, how to clean themselves down there, how to wash themselves. So this seemed to be a thing where mothers are not really doing their jobs. They're not really training up their daughters, teaching their daughters how to properly groom themselves. Mothers, one day your child, your little girl, is going to grow up and she's going to meet a husband, right? And she's going to have children. And you're preparing your daughter for a man. That's what you're doing as a mother. You're preparing her for a husband, right? And that little girl, she needs to learn how to properly care for her body, how to care for herself. So that way she can pass those things on to her daughter. She could pass it on to her children, right? So when I was growing up, my mother taught me how to properly groom myself, from getting the rag, the washcloth, right? And making sure that I wash behind the ears, right? Making sure I scrub my underarm, making sure I scrub the back of my neck. You know what I mean? Because we know when we go to school in those school uniform, if you got a dirty neck, sweating and playing all day, that the back, that collar on the uniform is going to be black. We all know that, right? So we got to scrub the back of the neck. Okay. For those of you who used to wear uniform to school, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? My mom taught us how to properly wash ourselves down there, right? Get us the washcloth and show us how to do it. My mom taught me those things. My mom taught me how to wash my hair. I mean, and I've been taught those things since I was 3 years old. My mother started teaching me how to properly groom myself, how to bathe myself, how to, use the bathroom and wipe myself and stuff like that. Those are little, and those are bonding moment between a mother and her daughter. And if you have a son, you should be doing the same thing with your son. Teach him how to groom himself properly. When he goes to the bathroom, show him how to properly wipe himself so he doesn't come out with skid marks all over his underwear, right? Those are the things that needs to be done by the mothers. Because your daughter should not be out here having men shame her because she smell, mama. And if she has a vaginal bacteria down there, that's something that she should know about and clean herself up before she goes in the presence of a man, right? No man should have to talk about your daughters like this. And I'm talking about the mothers who raise daughters, and those daughters are grown and they have a man or a husband, right? How did you raise your daughter? Do you have daughters out here who don't know how to clean themselves properly and how to groom themselves properly? Because that's what we're facing right now, where we have our men are complaining that our daughters smell, right? This is bad. This is very bad. And we have to talk about it. So ladies, listen, smell yourself. I'm serious. Smell yourself. When you get in the shower, you get in the bathroom, you take your clothes off, you have a sense of smell, right? That's one of your senses. Smelling is one of your senses. If you smell down there, I'm sure you could smell it. I'm sure that odor is hitting your nose, right? Take off your underwear, smell it. What does it smell like? If it makes you, you know what I'm saying? If it makes you feel some type of way, then something is wrong. If that smell is so unpleasant to the point where it makes you feel some type of way, then you need to make several trips to your gynecologist. Okay? When was the last time, ladies, you've seen a gynecologist? That's a question. That's a question. When was the last time you took a trip to the gynecologist? You might want to do that tomorrow. You might want to do that tomorrow. So go see a gynecologist to make sure that you don't have something going on down there, because a lot of you guys are experiencing symptoms and you're afraid to go to the gynecologist because you already know what you've been out here in the streets doing, and you're afraid. You're afraid to find out that you have something going on down there, so you don't want to go to the gynecologist, right? And like I mentioned earlier, you just had your period. You just had your period last night, yesterday, whatever, right? Give your body some time to heal from your period. It is normal for a woman to have, a little bit of old blood shedding from the uterus, right? Even after her period has ended, right? So your body needs some time to recuperate after your period, okay? Give yourself a couple of extra days. Don't just go having, laying up with some man as soon as your period is over, okay? Give your vajayjay some time to do what it does, right? So here's the problem. So the problem is, a lot of the time, a lot of women have men that are very unsanitary, okay? They do not keep a good hygiene, and those men are contributing to the vaginal situation, stinky situation that's going on in the vajayjay area. Let me explain. So, ladies, you have a boyfriend, a husband, a fiance, or whatever, right? A date, or whatever you want to call them, right? And you guys are getting ready to, you're out on a date, and you're having a good time, and blah, blah, blah. You go home, wherever you go, right? And you're all excited, and you're feeling hot and heavy, right? And the guy is doing his thing, and he's, touching here and there, touchy-feely, and blah, 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 right? He's putting his hands down there, right? Okay, but he never washes hands. And y'all probably just came back from the restaurant or from the store. You just had ice cream. You just had some fried chicken. You just had some pizza or whatever y'all just ate, right? But here you are. He never washes his hands, right? But he's got his hands down there, right? All up inside of it, right? And all of that nasty, germy bacteria from off of his hands are going up there, right? And that's how you end up with all type of overgrowth of bacteria in the vajayjay, right? Or he just ate some pizza or some fried chicken or some barbecue chicken or whatever he just ate, you know what I mean? Some steak and potatoes or whatever, right? And y'all are getting hot and heavy, right? And he decided to put his mouth down there, right? And from all that food in his mouth, because he didn't brush his teeth, he didn't, use some nothing. He just went from eating straight to that. And now you got food particles in your vajayjay. And what you think will happen? Because food particles does not belong in the vajayjay. You're going to have an overgrowth of bacteria from his mouth, from his dirty mouth, right? So you got dirty hands and dirty mouth going on the vajayjay. And that's how you end up with all type of bacteria. It's just the overgrowth, and now you end up with a yeast infection because you have a overgrowth of bacteria and germs in the vajayjay. So the boyfriend, the husband, the fiance, or whoever he is, might be contributing to the smelly vajayjay, right? So before you get all excited and you don't have time to go home and wash his hands and scrub his hands with some, antibacterial soap and some fresh, clean water and make sure his hands are clean and brush his teeth properly and gargle with some gargle stuff, right? Before he put his mouth somewhere and his hands somewhere. That's a big part of the problem, ladies. We don't really think about that, but that's a big part of the problem. Your man could be contributing to the smelly vajayjay, right? Because you're not making sure that he's cleaning himself before he does what he does, okay? So think about that. The next time you get all hot and heavy with the husband, make sure that the hands and the mouth and everywhere else is clean. Make sure the brother is bathed and his mouth is clean and everywhere else is clean, all right? Okay, so here's what you need to do, ladies. You need to go see a gynecologist. That's number one. You need to go see a gynecologist, and you need to make sure that you're taking at least 2 to 3 trips to the gynecologist every year, at the very least, if you're having that type of problem, okay? And even if you're not having that type of problem, you still need to go see a gynecologist every now and then to make sure everything is fine, okay? Number 2, do a detox. A detox, ladies, is going to help your body to reset itself and, help put your pH back in balance, man, okay? You're going to keep the pH balance in the vajayjay at a very good and healthy, balance, all right? So do a detox. Number 3, take some probiotics. Get yourself some probiotics and take them on a regular basis. That is going to keep a very healthy stomach and a very healthy pH in the stomach and the vajayjay. All right? Change your underwear and your feminine napkin or your pads very often while you're on your monthly cycle. Okay? Don't be going all day long while you're on your period, and don't be changing your pads or your whatever it is that you wear when you're on your monthly cycle. You need to take a bath regularly, because that's the most vulnerable time of the month where you really need to smell fresh. All right? Change your underwear and your pad often. All right? Okay. Eat healthy, fresh foods on a regular basis. Foods that grows outside from the soil, from the plants. Eat those types of food. Those types of food helps to keep your vajayjay healthy. All right? Here's the other one. Stop having intercourse with multiple men. Okay? Stop having intercourse with multiple men. Take a shower at least twice a day. Change your gym clothes after coming home from the gym. Take a shower and change your clothes, okay? Wear cotton underwears. Stop wearing them thongs all up in your hole there and it can't breathe, okay? Wear comfortable cotton underwear. And last but not least, do not let your partner put his dirty hands or his dirty mouth on your vajayjay. Let him wash himself and clean himself up before he does that. Okay, ladies? Teach these things to your daughters. You don't want your daughters out here being shamed and embarrassed because they stink down there, right? Teach your daughters how to groom themselves properly so they can hold their shame, okay? And did I mention use a washcloth to bathe? And teach your daughters to use a washcloth to bathe? Because there's a lot of white women out there who I've seen videos after videos about these women saying that they don't use washcloth to bathe themselves. Now, I don't really care what white women do, but as black women, as sisters, I sure hope we're not following that trend, not using washcloth to bathe, right? We better be teaching our daughters to use washcloth and clean themselves properly. Scrub it, scrub everywhere. Everywhere need to be scrubbed properly.
Did you, when growing up, use a washcloth?
Not really, no. There was one in the house.
Yeah.
I didn't really use it.
There was one in the house. Did you use one in the... I never even heard or seen anybody be like, here's a washcloth for the shower. I'd never seen it until I was in college, and some of my poorer friends, I befriended them. They would go
Such charity work.
Yeah, they were like, I like crash at their house, and they'd be giving me this little towel. I go, what the fuck is this? And they're like, it's a washcloth? And I was like, for what? And they're like, for the shower? And I was like, you can keep that.
Yeah.
And then, so we've been talking about
What were you using as a kid?
Just hands and soap.
Yeah.
That's all.
Really?
I'd never even heard of this.
You can't scrub with that, though.
But here's the thing that
I don't know. I mean, we were trash, but we weren't that bad, I feel like.
I thought that was nuts.
No.
We said that bit. That's where the line is.
But you know why I think it's disgusting? Is the reusing element of
That's
the
what I don't like.
We had one washcloth for the whole family. Dude, I mean, there was other ones. There was other ones.
It's already wet. and
But
you're
that
like,
was
"Fuck
just
that."
in the cycle of the towels.
Yeah.
And when the towels got washed,
Yeah.
then the washcloth
It's
got washed.
disgusting.
Yeah?
Well, people
I think
ask me,
so.
they're like, well, what did you do? Like,
Washcloths are for poor people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I've only had one friend use washcloths, and when she would stay with me, she'd say, "Can I have a washcloth?" And I said, "I don't have washcloths. There's no washcloth. Use your hand, dummy."
I really do remember the first time I crashed at a poor friend's house, and then he handed over like a towel for after the shower, and then a bar soap, and then a little one. I go, "What's the little towel?" And he goes, "A washcloth." And I go, I threw it back at him. I'm like, "I'm good." And he was like,
There is so much to unfold here.
One thing I found out about white girls, and I don't know if it's all white girls, but most
it's
of the
all of
white
them.
girls that I date, they wash their body with their hands.
What's wrong with that? You a loofah guy?
Gotta scrub that
Now,
shit
you
off.
gotta scrub that shit off.
Your
Like, if
mama
you
didn't
ain't gonna
wash you with
use
no hand.
deodorant,
Your mama
you gotta
used-
at least use a damn washcloth or something.
You know, I started using, I got to shout out AD. AD got me on the loofah. Pause. But I never used a loofah.
Amber? Yes. My love. I recently saw something that said poor people use washcloths, which I beg to differ with for a number of reasons. So I want to ask you, do you use a washcloth?
No, I do not.
Why don't you use a washcloth?
Because I'm white.
I just saw a reel on Facebook about, it was an American reel, and it was about white people not using washcloths. Now, I'm sure we all have our own routine when we wash ourselves in the bath or in the shower or whatever. Are there really people out there that just wash themselves with their hands? Like, is that a thing? We don't really call them washcloths here in the UK. We usually call them flannels. So, when I bath or shower, I use both. I use a sponge and I use a washcloth/flannel. I've never, ever washed myself with just my hands. Do people wash themselves with just their hands? Like, explain. How does that work? How do you get yourself clean with just washing yourself? Oh my God, do you put the soap up your bum? This is just...
To all my fellow cockins out there, do you guys use washcloths in the shower? Here, listen, hear me out. There's a story behind this. I asked all my white friends, do you use a washcloth? Majority of them said, no, I use my hands.
Okay, her fellow Caucasians, when your black friends invites you to the cookout and they insist that you do not bring anything, now you know they suspect that you use your hands to wash your ass.
Ladies, go to this website, grassrootbotanicals.com, and put yourself on a detox, right? If you're having vaginal odor, okay? Get yourself on the parasite cleanse. That is going to help you to clear up anything you got going on down there. And do a yoni steam after your period every month. Do a yoni steam. All right, guys, take care of your bodies, and your bodies will take care of you. Love you guys, and before I go, please hit the like button and share the video. Maybe somebody might want to hear this message. Maybe. All right? Hit the like button, share the video, and I will see you on the next video. Love you guys. Bye-bye.